Hello, my name is Elisa and today I'll be talking about Anhedonia again. Before I start talking about the actual topic of this video, I'd like to include two disclaimers. The first of them is I'm no professional, I'm no doctor, I'm no therapist. So what I am giving you, what I have been giving you is no medical advice in any way. I'm just an Anhedonia survivor who may have made it to a better position than some of you. This is not me bragging, by the way, it's just since my life has become worth living to me, I would like to help other people make it to that point as well. The second disclaimer, what I'm about to talk about is not to make our illness sound prettier or better or more positive than it is. It's Anhedonia sucks. There's nothing good about it at all. And I'm not telling anyone to, be grateful for it, to find a deeper meaning in it. Well, if you are a spiritual or a religious person, that is obviously your choice to make. But I'm not spiritual/religious, so I don't see any point in my suffering, or at least in the suffering of my past self, because I'm no longer suffering all that much. So yeah, today I'll be talking about a topic I have very strong, what I'm trying to tell you when I say feelings about. I don't have any actual feelings about it, but I have a strong opinion about it. Yeah, it's about finding yourself, rediscovering yourself, unearthing your true self despite being ill. Because I think there are a lot of us, my past self included, who are struggling to feel like a complete person, who feel like something more than an empty shell. And I cannot blame anyone for feeling that way. It just comes with being unable to experience positive emotions. It comes with being unable to feel motivated to act on any kind of inner drive, because it just doesn't exist for us. So today I'm going to give you an example that is a lot more personal than what I'm usually talking about. This will not be a rule, it will be an exception, unless you really want me to be more personal in my videos. It's not about me, it's just, I think because I'm a bit of an extreme example, this may show you that there's still hope for you, because you're probably not an extreme case like me. Okay, so when I fell ill, I was only 16. I hadn't really developed as a person completely yet. I hadn't formed complete opinions yet, and I hadn't truly figured out what my life is about, what my true ambitions are, what my true motivations are, but I believed I did. Before I fell ill, I was really obsessed with a certain country, with Japan. But I was obsessed with it in an unhealthy way. My dream was to move to Japan, to learn the language, and to be accepted by the people living there, despite the fact that I'm a complete weirdo. My reasoning behind this was, well, since it's a completely different country, they would probably blame my weirdness on the fact that I'm a foreigner, rather than on me as a person, and treat me better than the people here in Germany have been treating me. And I also really wanted to meet my favorite singer, go to one of his concerts, be noticed by him. So to sum it up, I was really naive. And the very moment I lost my positive emotions, I lost a lot of things as well. I lost my goals. I lost what drove me. I lost any kind of, any kind of direction I wanted to be walking in. I was just completely lost. My hopes had been crushed. And I also noticed how, pointless it would have been for me to go there. So I was utterly miserable. But the thing is, realizing this actually helped me grow as a person tremendously. Because I didn't only lose my dreams, I also lost my delusions, my false beliefs about myself. Because back then I was honestly convinced that I was an emotional person, rather than a person who is highly logical and a thinker. Now, how did this change? Well, it began when I met someone on the internet. Well, I didn't officially talk to her at this point, but the stories she was writing really stimulated me in an intellectual way. Her thoughts, her opinions she was blogging about inspired me, and they made me realize, oh, I'm actually that kind of person. I'm actually a thinker. I can find fulfillment in intellectual and creative activities, and I should be aiming for that kind of fulfillment when I cannot have positive emotions. The person in question, she's actually one of my 3 best friends now. Her name is Lina, and if you're watching this, Lina, I adore you. Well, I also realized that I was an INTP. If you don't know about the MBTI personality types, you should probably look into them, because they are more about how your brain works, how your brain processes events and thoughts and emotions, than about any superficial ways of judging a person and assigning a label to them. And well, from that point, I knew that even though I didn't have any positive emotions, I was still an INTP, and I fit that part really well. Like the personality description, the description of my way of thinking, all of that applied to me. So that was one really important realization about myself. I was still feeling miserable, and oh, what is that? Well, I apologize, but the sun just vanished behind a cloud, so I had to turn on the lights so you can still see me. what I was trying to say is that, well, I was still feeling miserable. And my professionals, even those who had really good intentions, who really wanted to help me, didn't know what to do with me, because they didn't know about my true needs. They didn't know what tools I needed to actually cope with my condition, which, by the way, is also why I'm really in favor of raising more awareness in regard to our condition. So especially therapists can help people combating anhedonia cope better. So, but when I met my professional, who restored my ability to concentrate, at least, you know, to the extent I could write again, and you know, without struggling too much, and who killed my depression, who killed my anxiety, and who made me become able to motivate myself more easily. When that happened, I was suddenly, it was like I had been reborn, because I was writing really frequently then, and I got a lot of intellectual and creative fulfillment out of it. I became really passionate in an emotional way about horse riding, which, well, I had ridden horses before I fell ill, but back then it was more of an oh, I gotta exercise at least once a week kind of thing. It wasn't an actual passion, and well, part of the reason of that was that I didn't really get along with the horse I was riding all that much. But the horse I'm currently riding, I fell in love with him at first sight. And my mood is always incredible when I'm just spending time with him. So in addition to that, I also realized that I needed to help people in a worse position than me by sharing my coping methods, by sharing the important conclusions I reached, and you know, by just trying to be there for those who are really miserable. It had nothing to do with emotions. It was basically about who I am, even while my positive emotions are not there. Because actually the things I'm driven by now, they are a lot more impactful, a lot more meaningful than anything I had ever been driven by in the past. For a very long time, it was also my way of coping with a not so great situation. I was just mindlessly consuming things. I was reading some books, I was watching a lot of anime, a lot of dramas. I was playing video games, and I was listening to music mindlessly. So I was living really passively, but I wasn't creating anything. I wasn't making any impact on my surroundings. But all of that changed after my illness really forced me to become more self-aware, to become aware of what I truly am like, what truly makes me me, what I'm actually driven by, you know, deep down. So I really hope that as many of you as possible can make it to that point as well. in my case, I've actually become convinced that I've become a better version of myself than I would have become had I not been forced to become this self-aware. And I'm also convinced that the very moment I do become healthy, I'll be unstoppable. I'll be invincible. And it's a good feeling. It's not an emotion, but it really gave me a lot of self-confidence. So I will be talking about the practical tips that are necessary for this kind of personal development, for this kind of personal growth in my next video. And I really hope my personal example was of some use to you, that it gave you some hope, that it maybe even inspired you to discover your true self as well, to become a better version of yourself as well, despite your condition. Again, if you'd like some personalized advice, if you'd like somebody to listen to you, if you'd like some positivity, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Twitter. The link is below as always. And take care of yourselves, keep fighting, and remember that you are not alone. Bye bye!